Hello and welcome to All Things Leeds. Ed McIntyre here. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Joining me virtually, first of all, is a good friend of mine from a university. He's a MMA journalist. Is Kieran Cobley. Kieran, hello.
Hi Ed, how you doing, mate? Cheers for having me on. I think we've been wanting to do this for a while now and get something done. A bit of a crossover between us, but finally got it done virtually.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you for joining me. And the special guest is MMA fighter, middleweight MMA fighter, Cage Warriors. It is George Smith. George, how are you doing?
Yes, guys, I'm glad to be the person who brought you both together as well. So, yeah, but I'm good.
Yeah, brilliant. You're also a Leeds United fan as well, so we'll be discussing Leeds United. Can't wait for that. But George, first of all, of course, been 3 months of lockdown. How was a lockdown been for you?
I've never been as busy, if I'm honest. Like at the start, I was obviously a bit worried because everything had been turned upside down. But yeah, I've done up my house and it's finished now. Grown a beard. And yeah, everything. But now everything's been good. Other than the training, I've had like you said, the whole house to do, rip back to brick and then built again. So I've had plenty to do.
Nice, nice. What has training been like for you during lockdown? It must have been quite hard to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah, I've just realised that I really dislike exercising. I like actually training for something. Like I like being in the gym or lifting weights for a purpose or something like that. But I don't like just the idea of keeping fit for keeping fit's sake. Like I like being competitive, having people like a fight coming up and other people looking to do the same thing. I don't know. It's just that yeah, exercise isn't for me. Sounds weird, but
Yeah, and it's probably hard to tell, but exercise probably isn't for me and Kieran either. Well, getting on to your career, George. You did judo when you were younger, and then moved into MMA. What was that transition like for you?
well, I thought when I was already on the Great Britain team, when I was about 16, I had my first professional, not professional, amateur MMA fight. I think I had four between 16 and 17 whilst I was still doing judo. And then I moved to Birmingham and to train with the Great Britain team full time. And then once that, I just fell out of love with it, to be honest. I wasn't enjoying being there and things like that. So I moved back up north and yeah, just went to MMA, but I just love it, mate. The yeah, so where was I? No, I yeah. So when I moved back up to Manchester, that's when I joined SBG and really made a run at it. I think my first fight for SBG was in like 2017, November 2017, and then since then just kind of shot on, and yeah, it's been good.
Brilliant.
Yeah, now George, obviously, since going pro, you've been on a bit of a tear. 5 straight wins as well for yourself. 5-1 record. The last of those been against Marcin Kowaneski. Marcin Kowakeski, sorry, back in Manchester, sold out at BC Arena, March 7th. That must feel like a lifetime away now. But how big of a win was that to get that in front of a sold out audience, especially when you train in Manchester yourself?
Oh, it was massive. Like you were there at the venue, but you probably heard the. But I mean, you were backstage most of it, weren't you? But the
Yeah.
crowd was ridiculous. Yeah, it was no, it was a lot of fun. I think like being obviously I'm a Leeds fan, but live in Manchester. But I get a lot of stick day in day out for being a Leeds fan, but it's still the people in Manchester have took me in, and like I get a good support in Manchester, which is good. But yeah, the opponent I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the fight to go the way it did, but getting the win in front of that crowd was something special.
Yeah, now Marcin Kowakeski, he was a dangerous opponent coming in. Four wins and 2 losses. Of his 4 wins, 3 have came by KO, 1 by submission. What was it like putting away such a dangerous opponent? What's that going to do for your career?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was good to. I mean, I was on the main card, which was an unexpected, like last day thing. So obviously, more eyes were on me. I've got more people wanting to see me in the bigger fights now. So I'm thinking, yeah, this year, even though it's been a weird last 3 months, I feel like the end of it could be a good spell, especially. next couple of fights, it's going to be right at the top of that Cage Warriors division, with the title there and maybe eliminators or whatever it is. I think I'm right there now in the Cage Warriors picture, so it's good.
Yeah, you mentioned there the bit of an enforced break due to the pandemic that's going on. How frustrating was that for you? I know we said when we were setting up you like to have a bit of a goal to go towards when you're working out. You don't just like working out for exercise's sake. I mean, how frustrating was that to sort of put that momentum on hold a bit for you?
Well, yeah, because I was kind of hoping if there was a pull-out or something for the world title fight in my division, like I'd step in, Joe, because they get European opponents in or American. If they can't travel, I thought maybe something might open up for me. Didn't necessarily work out that way, but it is what it is. I was being frustrated at the time, but now it's just just got to get on with it. And I'm sure the opportunities, you've worked for something, haven't you? So they're not just going to disappear. It's going to come back, and I'll be ready to do it when take it when it does.
Yeah, you mentioned there about a possible championship title fight, or at least a title eliminator this year. I mean, look at the division. Middleweight at Cage Warriors is quite a stacked division. Matthias Frederick, he's currently the middleweight champion after two massively exciting fights against James Webb, who is still in the picture after beating Mick Stanton. Mick Stanton's obviously a tough opponent, a little Scouser as well, so that could be the potential fight there. But out of those guys, who are you looking to take on? Is anyone that's standing out in the division for you right now?
I mean, any. Yes, I think there's quite a few names there. Be good scalps to go on my record, but I don't know. Fight in the division. The only fight like James Webb is in the division. Just any of them, to be honest. I'd fight any of them.
Yeah, do you mind just repeating that? Yeah, do you mind just repeating that, mate? Because obviously it kept freezing up a bit on Manhead's end.
Yeah, so like James Webb, I mean, I trained with him quite a lot over in Ireland with Tom Fields and Chris Fields, and so I won't say anything about him. But the other two, just any of them guys, to be honest, I've backed myself against. I think Frederick's has had some good fights against James. He's a big, tough, strong guy. But yeah, I back myself all day against any of them.
So Cage Warriors is of course returning back in September with 3 back-to-back shows. How excited are you for that, George, for the return of Cage Warriors?
Oh, buzzing! Yeah, just seeing that I potentially could have a fight there was because I saw it being rumoured about them having a show in September, but they're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So hopefully they can find room for me on one of their main cards. So yeah, I'd be just buzzing for it. I think, like you were saying, just with the names that are available in the division, I think there's plenty of fights there that I'm sure they'd be happy to throw me in against. So yeah, I'm just buzzing for it to be back.
Yeah, no, mate. I saw Graham Boylan sort of reshared something he put out on Instagram. I think it was from the No Context Eddie Hearn account. Have you been in contact with Graham or matchmaker Ian Dean about a potential fight? Is there any potential opponents' names flying about at the minute?
I think any potential names are probably names that we all have in our heads now anyway. Just it's kind of it stands out at the top of the division though. There's a few names like the elite names in the division. So any of them guys is probably someone I'm targeting. There's a lot I could go at. But I haven't really spoke to him other than obviously him resharing my post. I think they'll be thinking the same about us. I'm a contracted guy, so they want to get me out anyway. Hopefully, that'll be against one of the higher end contracted guys at Cage Warriors as well. You got Stanton and Fredericks, any of them. I'll definitely fancy any of them fights.
Nice, man. Nice.
You're of course a Leeds fan, George. Have you spoken to Graham Boylan about getting a show in Leeds?
Well, I've been just trying to, like guys like you, anyone that's Leeds social media podcasts, any MMA journalists at Yorkshire based. I think now building on this, we just need to get that momentum going. Just call him for it. Anytime anyone speaks to Graham, mention because there's not just me. There's a group of guys, solid guys in Yorkshire training, and there's a decent gym in Leeds. You've got AVT. So I think like there's a handful of fighters that they could come over here for, especially a lot of Leeds fans as well. I think a few of them are Leeds fans. So I think just getting the fans talking about it. I think one of the Cage Warriors owners is good friends with Andrea Rodriguez, so that's a route into Leeds for Cage Warriors. So I think we've just got to keep talking about it. And I think if I keep winning fights, they'll have a reason to put a world title fight in Leeds, which would be good.
Are you sort of surprised they've not already sort of taken a step into Yorkshire yet, even with an academy on the amateur shows? I mean, Leeds as a city has a huge appetite for combat sports. I mean, look at how many fights Josh Warrington sold out at both the arena and Elland Road. I mean, is that a bit of a surprise for you? They've not done it yet.
Yeah, it's massive as well, especially I'm a Leeds season ticket holder. I think people. But until you do it as a promoter, you probably want to see how big it could be in Leeds, because I suppose you just got to like dip your toe in it, and you see like it's with the Josh Warrington at the arena, 10 times sold out. Then I was there at that night, Elland Road as well, and I just thought, this is a fighting city and a one team city as well in Leeds United. I feel like it can be built. The fights can be built really easy around that. You've got like Till being rumoured to have a fight at Anfield. You just got to these fights are the ones people want, bringing that football atmosphere to a fighting arena. I think it's something everyone should be, all promoters should be looking at.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as Kieran says, the Leeds fan base, there's a big fan base for combat sports. We've seen it in boxing. Josh Warrington, the Leeds fans have really, taken that and put it on a new level. Really, it's really helped grow the sport. So, it's really surprising how that hasn't been, a big motivating factor for Graham Boylan to put a Leeds show on. But getting into Leeds United, though, George, of course, a Halifax lad. Where did your journey supporting Leeds United begin? Where did it all start for you?
So I was my uncle and my dad have always been Leeds fans. My uncle was like a massive Leeds fan. He was going around Europe to all the Champions League nights. He supported them since he was a kid as well. So he had a season ticket for years and years. And then when I was born, my dad just wanted to get me into it when I was young. I was playing a lot of football. So we had it was a what stand would it be? Yeah, the East stand. So just by the cheese wedge, I had a season ticket just there. So I used to get like cigarettes and stuff thrown at me from the away supporters. And yeah, I used to at the time, because I was young, I used to just spend more time watching the stuff going on between home and away fans. But that I was really interested in it. But yeah, that's where it started really. The season ticket in the East and the family stand, and then till now. I had a few years off being a season ticket holder when I moved to Birmingham, because I was away every weekend with the Judo team. But yeah, just me and my dad and my uncle now sit in the Cop, and we have done for I don't know how many years back. It's been probably 5-6 years now.
Yeah, good to hear. I can relate to you with the East stand. I was always sat in there as a kid near the away fans, and it really did baffle me how they put the family stand next to the away fans. I just did not understand it at all.
And then you way out of the stadium as well. If I'm right saying, there used to always be trouble going on at the back of the shops, and you used to come out that way. Anyway, it was all like bring the kids out in front of all the trouble and stuff. But it's yeah, no, it didn't make sense, did it? Especially, I had many cigarettes land on me as well. Bottles were being thrown over everything. But I think that's what made me fall in love with football. To be honest, I like passion in sport as well. I love seeing like these without crowds. It's just not the same, is it? I love the passion. How much like. I know many like sensible men as well who absolutely lose their head at football, like businessmen or whatever they are. They just absolutely go crazy at football, which always makes me laugh.
So, do you remember your first Leeds United game then?
No, I remember. My my memory's not very good as being a kid, but I just remember certain big matches. I remember playing Liverpool a couple of times, and remember, I think my first match. Nah, you couldn't even try me that. I might have been hit too many times to even think that far back, but it's, I think the Premier League years and the years in the Champions League were always the best years. Obviously, that's when I can start remembering football. Like I was probably 7. What would I be? 7 or 8. So you're just starting to fall in love with football. You're actually starting to watch football instead of just what's going on in the crowd and stuff. And them years were just so good. Like I was a proper. Alan Smith was always my favourite Leeds player. So I had Smith on the back of my shirt, every Leeds shirt I had, because it's my last name as well. I suppose my dad always used to say, if we sell him, you can still keep the shirt because it had Smith on the back. But then when he moved to Man U, I didn't want to keep any of them tops anyway, so it was it was a bit. But yeah, he's I always used to get ripped in school. Weirdly, in Halifax, you've got way more Man United supporters than Leeds supporters. So I was a bit of a minority in school, being a Leeds. Yeah. If we're in Yorkshire, you should be supporting a Yorkshire club. That's what I always used to think. So it never used to make sense to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. What's your biggest memory supporting Leeds United? What really sticks out to you the most, and think, yeah, that was a special moment?
No, I remember the Champions League run, and then I think we didn't have Sky or something, so we was listening on the radio. I just remember the disaster. I think I don't know what did we lose away like 2-0 or something like that.
I think it was 3-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like And I just remember the hurt from that. Probably never recovered for about 2 or 3 years from it. But yeah, just that run at the time, like Viduka and Smith. Boya, the core. I just remember just how good the football was as well, and then just thinking that we're never going to see football like that again. But I think that what the football Bielsa is bringing is definitely rivaling what we were playing back then, which was I know not on as big a stage, but I think it means just as much to Leeds fans now as it did back then. So it's pretty special.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Leeds United, we're high flying right now this season. As we speak, we're currently top of the league on 74 points, 3 points ahead of West Brom, who are in second, and 8 points ahead of Brentford in third. I mean, yeah, we're just having another fantastic season under Marcelo Bielsa, aren't we? I mean, Marcelo Bielsa, he's made such a huge impact at the club. Yeah,
like I know, like I said, I never thought we'd see football like this. I never thought this had happened, especially with the little amount of spend we've had as well. Comparing us to a lot of these top Championship clubs who have spent way more. If you'd have said to me 2 or 3 seasons ago that we were going to get potentially promoted with Liam Cooper and Dallas, and like a few of these names, you just said no. This can't happen. But Bielsa's improved this team so much. Now, if somebody said anything bad against Liam Cooper or anything like, you'd be like, what? It's like he's probably the best. He's probably the best. He's definitely top 5 defenders in the Championship. Dallas, I don't even know what position he's playing at the minute, but you're saying he's a standout as well at the minute. Yeah, just with this squad, I just can't believe what's happening, to be honest.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable.
We need to stop putting the digs on Liam Cooper as well. He came from Chester, from my team. You nicked him for God knows how little money, and then he's got you, helping you get to promotion. Like
that's it. It shows exactly what a good coach does to a team, though. That you don't need to spend like Klopp. Look at what Klopp's done with the net spend that he's had, and you just think you don't need these big names. Like I never liked clubs who used to spend 100 million in the Championship to try and get promoted. I just didn't like the look of it. It didn't seem right. And then you get a good coach like Bielsa in, probably paying him ridiculous wages, but he's doing a wicked job. Like there's not one player who's got worse under him. There's not been maybe 1 or 2 signings maybe haven't worked out in the last couple of years, maybe 1. But everyone seems to be able to play in this team who comes in because they're all so ready, so drilled. I don't know. It's just good. It's good to watch.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. Kieran, as an outsider, what do you think when someone mentions Leeds United? What are your overall thoughts on Leeds United?
I mean, I've always thought of Leeds United as a fighting club. You look at sort of the past, well, since they've dropped out since they got relegated from the Premier League, and they've had to fight against administration, against an owner that was just god awful for them. Fight for promotion back from League One, fight for promotion again from the Championship to the Premier League. I mean, it's sort of like they've been a team of fighters, but they've just not had that head coach that's got them there. And think now to sort of put a bit of MMA back into this. I mean, they've now got like a Greg Jackson or a Mike Brown that's going to really help them to take them to the next level. And I think we're seeing that again, like George said, with how he's managed Stuart Dallas and Liam Cooper and the rest of the team. And I mean, you look at the performance against Fulham on Saturday. I mean, they played absolutely phenomenal football. And I think they're a team of fighters, and now they've got a head coach that's like who can teach them more tactical stuff, and a more tactical approach and methodology to playing football that's going to really see them through.
Yeah, no, I think that about this team. They, I don't usually watch to get inspired for MMA. I don't necessarily I watch MMA because obviously it's good for tactics and stuff. But I love watching football. I like the fact that footballers don't need to turn up every day because they've made loads of money. They don't have to do it, but the way they do it, like you see with the Leeds players chasing down the ball. Yeah. I love that stuff because they don't need to do it. Like you're on 20 grand. They're on 20 grand a week and they're chasing like it's a World Cup final every match.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You mentioned you love watching football. You unfortunately missed the last Leeds United game, though, which fans were allowed into the ground for that Huddersfield win. So that must have been quite annoying for you to miss such a good game and what was the last game that fans were allowed in.
Yeah, because I've got a few friends who are Huddersfield fans as well, so they always give me abuse and stuff. So I was after my fight, a few of the lads had come off straight from the train to watch me fight. So I got to give them a bit of abuse that night as well. So
lovely.
Yeah.
Of course, for these players though, they've gone back into football after having 3 months off without playing, any competitive matches, and you haven't trained at all for much during these 3 months off. So how difficult do you think it is for the players, getting back into it after 3 months off and getting back used to it?
Yeah, I mean, because they're so well organised, these football clubs, and they've got that many staff, they've always. Every day they'll be kept in contact and they'll have had programs to do. And when you're a bit wealthier as well, like doors open as well, so you can always find somewhere to train. There's always you can always do like private sessions here and there, whatever you need to get done, whatever equipment you need to buy. Or I'm sure Leeds help the players out with a lot of that stuff. But yeah, just keeping your head on it. I think like the players always knew that they were probably going to have to come back to this, and they were probably being prepared by the coaching staff that they're going to have to come back. So I think as long as they kept the head in the game, it's if you've kept your fitness to somewhat a level, they've just got to get that match sharpness back. I think a couple of my mates were saying that the Cardiff match, we played all right in spells and we looked like ourselves, but we didn't. It didn't flow as much. Like killing like they didn't. They just couldn't put it away. But that second half against Fulham, it looked like they were back to full sharpness. Pablo made a massive difference. It was just, I think, Pablo just kind of goes to show how important he is in this team. It's been, I don't know how many years he's been at Leeds now. What is it, like 5 years, something like that?
Yeah.
How many seasons? Yeah, about 4 or 5 seasons. Probably, 5 seasons. And I think getting promotion with him in the team is a big thing for me because I'd like to see him take us up because he's definitely been our best player over this period, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. So George, you've had fights in front of fans. You've had fights with not in front of fans. What is the difference in those experiences like, and how how big of a difference would it be for the players, performing in front of 30,000 fans every week to performing in front of no fans? How big of a difference is that experience?
Well, I think it definitely is different. The thing about because I was obviously there all the matches last season. I went to the playoff semis against Derby. Watched a few, when we got out of the playoffs. I mean, the top two, like that loss against Wigan. I can't remember what it was just a disastrous spell. I think maybe the fact the crowd can have a real benefit to your team. Obviously, when the fans get behind Leeds, you can feel the momentum builds in the play and stuff. But it can also add a lot of the playing in front of 30,000 people. Who, if you go maybe a goal down, 2 goals down, they might get a bit edgy. The fans are a bit worried, so that can all have a detrimental effect on the team. But I don't know. I don't think it will ever feel like they've fully got promotion without having 30,000 fans there every week. I don't think it'll feel. It won't. I don't think it's. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's right. It's not nice, is it? These players have worked, and I don't think it's nice on the fans either, because these, some people's biggest part of the week is going to watch Leeds at the end of the end of a week at work and stuff like that, or on a Tuesday night when they've just finished work or whatever. I just don't. It's just not nice. The players, don't get me wrong, they're well paid enough. They can handle anything. But it's the average people, the normal season ticket, normal fans. I just don't think it's nice on them having to stay at home and watch it when it's your big escape to go and watch them at the weekend.
Yeah. But I guess the big positive, though, is that, we're still playing good football and that it does look like we're going up. I'll throw the question to you. Are we going up this season?
Yeah. And I'm always, to be fair, though, I think I said this in a previous interview. I was like, I am that positive about Leeds that I thought we was going up under Steve Evans. Like on that, I feel like I'm just a bit naive with it all, because I just quite like going to every match thinking we're going to win this. Like if Liverpool turned up or if Barcelona turned up, it just won't make a difference. I'm just that positive that I just want to see. I just think we're going to win. So I end up leaving. Even if we lost to Liverpool, I'd leave it gutted. Like my head would be down. I won't be able to cope. I love going there and getting hurt by Leeds. It seems the usual thing to do.
Kieran, as an outsider, are Leeds United going up, do you think?
I think this season is the season to do it. I mean, last season they were in the top 2 until the final few games of the season. It just seemed they got a bit of a burnout. I think having the enforced breaks helped them out a bit. This season they performed. I think the football's been a lot better. And also now they're in a position where if results go their way and they win games and West Brom and Fulham drop points, they can wrap it up early as well, which I don't think they had last season as well. But I think having the empty stadium, I think having a bit of a break as well, I think that's really going to help them. And I think this is the season they do it. I think is it the last time Liverpool won the league, Leeds won league the second division as was then as well. So yeah, so that's a bit of a good omen for Leeds fans as well.
Yeah, I said my manager, who I'm in the office of now, he's a Liverpool fan, and we were saying that. He was saying like the last time they won the title, we got promoted. So I think it's definitely something. It has to happen this year. It's
destiny, isn't it?
It just, I can't even think of the situation that happens that they can't lose all 7 matches or whatever it is. They can't. I know you're laughing, Ed, because you probably think it could happen.
Yeah, I think we can. We're Leeds United.
Yeah, but that's it. I just can't. If I thought like that, I just don't think I'll be able to get up out of bed in the morning. Like I think that Leeds are definitely going to win. And if we get promoted next year, I'll be thinking we're going to get qualified for the Champions League. And then I just think it's just how I think. I'm just a general. Just I don't know. Probably an idiot, a naive idiot. Be a good way of putting it.
Probably taking a few too many hits.
Yeah. That's it. I need to not get hit as much, and then I might be more realistic about Leeds.
Yeah. I mean, I must ask you before we head off. I must ask you. I don't think many people, growing up, there's not many who think, oh yeah, I want to get into fighting, because there is a big risk there, because you're putting your body on the line. So what made you want to get into judo first of all and get into fighting?
I think because I was just a bad kid. Like I had a lot of energy, And I think my granddad did judo with like the police or something years and years and years ago. I mean, he wasn't in the police; he just trained with them. So I think that he was kind of, my granddad suggested taking me down to judo, get a bit of my energy out of me. I mean, I ended up going. I was rubbish though, like for years and years and years. I was just rubbish at sport. I was way too tall, skinny. I just used to get bullied by like shorter, stocky guys. And it never really came off. And then I just kept going really with it. And now it turns out I'm actually quite good at fighting. So it's mad. In judo, I think, because I used to think I was getting old and stuff like that. I was only 20, but judo's like a sport that makes you feel old. And now I've come into MMA and everyone talks to me as like a prospect or like a young fighter or something like that. Now it's all a bit weird, really, for me.
Yeah, but a huge credit to you for making that jump into MMA, and yeah, 5 wins in a row for you. So yeah, fantastic. So keep it all up, and I wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Yeah, thanks for it. Yeah, like I said, just any journalists or Leeds journalists, MMA journalists, we've just got to get this momentum going for getting fight shows into Leeds. The Leeds United's ownership are very receptive to these type of ideas. I know Lee Nicklin, who he does some MMA like announcing. He also does his Leeds pitch side announcer. I think he's on board with it. So I think people like that, as long as we keep talking about it, fights will come to Leeds, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. We just need to all get behind it. Listen, George, thank you for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Yeah,
thank you.
Take care, stay healthy, and I wish you the best of luck. Kieran, as well, thank you for joining me in this interview.
Yeah, cheers for having me on, man. It's always good fun to catch up with one of your best mates from uni as well. And finally, we managed to get a bit of a crossover project on the go.
Yeah, I love it. Make sure to follow everyone on social media. I'll leave all the links in the video description. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later.